Okay, testing, testing. Okay, hi. Who's penguins? Just identify yourself, please. Okay, so give me a while before I talk about gradient. Okay, all right. Okay, actually we are here to talk about gradient. So let me just give you a rundown. Okay, so what's going on is that this chapter is called coordinate geometry. It deals with these things called an x and y axis. Okay, so basically okay, so sorry if you see a pause on the stream, it's because I'm kind of waiting to for the audio to catch up with me. Okay, but right now I'll just do some talking. The idea is that there are two things that you absolutely must know when there are 2 points. So let's say there's a point 2 2, okay, and there's another point here. Okay, maybe this point is like 5 6, right? We absolutely need to know the formulas. Okay, so today it's all about the two formulas. Okay, the first one is talking about the length. Okay, so that is the one that we went through the other day in class, and we have done some short simple exercises on it. Okay, um one of the simple exercises is that we use Pythagoras theorem. Okay, because this is technically a right angled triangle. Okay, and then we calculate the distance using the formula. Okay, basically we designate something as point 1 and point 2. It doesn't matter which one we start with, 1 or 2. Okay, and then after that, we find the difference. So let's say I take 5 minus 2. Okay, no problem. But then if I take 5 minus 2, I also have to take 6 minus 2. Okay, we just plus this. Okay, so this thing is actually for length. That's 5.1. Okay, so 5.1 is just about the length formula. Okay, sorry guys, let me just check how many people on the stream. Well, only the 3 SBB students. Then I think, can you just type something so I know you hear me? Okay, well done, guys. Okay, it's very nice to hear from you. But remember, the purpose of this is not for me to talk, but for you to ask questions. Okay. Anyway, I'm listening to my own stream. There's like about a 2 second lag. Okay. So, um, yeah. Okay. Back to work. So this is what we've covered, and then there are several questions to do on length. Okay. I want to really appeal to you guys something, even though the people who should really hear this are not here. Okay, in fact, the people that are here, you guys are the good students. I think that you guys will do well in HBL because you take the initiative. Okay, but there are some others like I don't want to say their names on live. Okay, but they're gonna lose out. So everyone, let's forget about them first. Okay, I'll catch them up. We need to know two things: length and gradient. So it was all about length. Okay, and I actually just gave you two very simple questions. That was more of a fluke testing than testing your maths. Okay, there are some difficult questions. I'll talk about that one, then I'll start talking about gradient. Okay, so the other difficult question was that how to show, I think, 3 points on a straight line using the length formula. There are actually two ways to do that. So think about this. If there are 3 points on a straight line called ABC, how do we know if we can connect them all using on a straight line? Actually, it has to do with distance, because if you calculate the length of AB, and let's say it's 3, and you calculate the length of BC, it's 7, then very simple way that you can check all of them are on a straight line is that then AC must equal to 10. So you can use the distance to check if 3 points are on a straight line. Alright, so that's one of the ways. Okay, hi singing. Okay, so that was one of the more difficult questions, but I just got you guys to submit the easy one because some of your classmates have a problem even submitting. Okay, but let's talk about 5.2, then I go inside the worksheets. Okay, in the meantime, if you look at the worksheet and you need help, can you just post the question here, then I'll go through it, because if not, I'm just rambling about generalities. Okay, so this is the gradient formula. Okay, so if I give you 2 points, again, let's use the same 2 points. Okay, so 2, 2, and 5, 6. Okay, I don't want to find length, I want to find the gradient. So the gradient, if you have the point over here, okay, it's not the length this time, but it is actually in sec 1 we learned it is the rise over the run, right? So the thing is that the formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so this is the formula, but I know that some of you may say that, hey Mr. Yong, why is it 2 before 1? Because my tuition teacher taught me that actually it's supposed to be y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Okay, this is a trick question. Both of them are exactly the same. You can use whatever formula you like. Okay, so long as you are consistent. If you have the point 1, it must come first and then point 2 later. Or if 2 is first, then 2 must be later. Okay, these are equal. They are the same thing. Doesn't matter whether 1 or 2 come first. Okay. Yes, it is. I don't know who's. I like penguins. Just please type your name so I know that I'm not talking to a random stranger. You are absolutely right. It is the change in y over the change in x. Don't you realize that this rise here, isn't it exactly the change in y? So we are talking about the same things, and the run is over the change in x. So essentially, you're correct. What? Oh, it's Zhenxiang. Okay, thanks. Alright, so now thanks to Jivan's feedback, I will go through. Who said example 3? Yeah, it's Jivan. Okay, so now let's view example 3. Give me a while I switch to the window. Okay, so I'm just switching to in Firefox, then I'll show Firefox. Okay, so now I'm going to display. Wait a minute. Okay, so you guys are supposed to be here. This is the website which you should have been visited quite a while. So let's look at example 3. You're supposed to go to here, and then basically this is your 5.2. Alright, so if you look at my announcements, because we're all using the same resources, but different teachers can expect different things for students. Alright, so if your class isn't so strong, then I'll set you less questions. But I have to say this, and especially for these are your go-getters like my SVB students, Dinesh Jivan, if you want, you can do more. Okay, I'm limiting it because I know that there are some in your class might feel overwhelmed. Alright, so let's take a look at example 3, and then I'll go through it. Okay, so Jivan, essentially you're asking for this question. Wonderful. This is just the question I thought you might need help with. Okay, so very simple. We just have to make an equation. Okay, so anyway, all of you have the worksheet here, right? If not, I'll display it on screen using my very handy snip tool. Okay, and then after that, give me a while. I'm going to show you the snip tool. Okay, so now I can do some work on it. Where is this? Wait. Okay. Right. Yes, of course, Dinesh later, but now I'm streaming now. Okay, so yeah, let's go through this question since Jeevan requested for it. And remember, because there's a lag in the chat, just type the questions that you need help with, because there's not too many people talking. I'll eventually see it. Okay, so all right. Okay, let's use the gradient formula. Let's designate something 0.1 and 0.2 first. Okay, so let's say, yeah, remember, it doesn't matter which one you start with, 0.1 and 0.2, it will still work. So let's just say this is 0.1 and this is 0.2. Okay, so let's use, and then the formula is, let's use y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Hey, by the way, just give me a shout out in chat if you can see the thing clearly. Okay, right. So let's take a look at y1. So that's minus 6. Okay, so minus 6 minus 4k, right? Because it's minus 6 minus 4k over x1 is k. It's k minus 5. Okay, so I know those of you who would like to take shortcuts. Okay, thanks Brandon for the shout out. We'll put plus 5. Okay, why is it plus 5? Let me just write it out exactly. Okay, so when you get down to it, okay, this whole thing is actually, this is a plus sign if you remember your sec 1 stuff. Okay, so and this whole thing now will be equal to minus k over 3. Alright, so I'm going to write it simplified, and then you realize that, hey, this is nothing but a tricky algebra question. Okay, and the fact that, you know, there are two answers means that we're going to end up with a quadratic. Okay, so let's write it again. Minus 6 minus 4k over k plus 5 equals to minus k over 3. Alright, and so from here, it's an algebra problem that you can take care of. Okay, alright. Now, I know many of you would apply the cross method here, and in this case you can, because it's a fraction over a fraction. So let's just cross and then see what we get. Okay, so after the cross methods, we get minus 18 minus 12k equals to minus k squared minus 5k. Okay, and guess what, guys? Over here is a quadratic formula that should be able to help with. Okay, so Jeevan, are you confident you can handle this? I'll just do a few more steps so you can get going. Okay, so let's say I move everything over here. Okay, I move it over to the equation. Okay, I get minus k squared. There's gonna be a plus 12k coming over, so it's a plus 7k. Because you know there's plus 12 and there's a minus 5. Plus 18 equals to 0. Right, so when you're here, you just use the quadratic formula. Okay, thanks, Jeevan. Alright, any other examples? Guys, we are nearly at 120. Come, just ask what you can do. Okay, so anyway, Zheng, I'm later to seeing you to teach Dwaka, so but I think we might do Google Meet. Okay, I don't know, unless you're okay with YouTube Live, because from what I see, I'm lagging by about 1 second. Questions 2, 3, 4. Okay, okay, all right, so let's take a look at the other questions on okay, Firefox. Give me a moment. Let's switch this over to Firefox. Hold on, I don't know why my stupid thing can't detect. Okay, so that's the example. Okay, now let's scroll down to see. Okay, actually the first part you can, right, is gradient. All right, the last one is a trick question for gradient, because you will see that undefined basically means it's a vertical line, and you can just tell by the first two numbers that it's vertical, so it doesn't really have any gradient. Just help with the hardest one there. Okay, that would be question number 3. Okay. Okay, so give me a moment. I'm setting up a new snip. Okay, right. So, can we see? So remember, they are okay. Can you go to for C? Actually, Dinesh, I tell you what, for you, right? Why not I just view your comments, because chances are if you get the answer, you're on the right track. Okay, I'll make the things in your comments. Because Jeevan requested me to do the hardest question. Okay. Here I am with my snip. Okay. So okay, let's go through it now. All right. So there are several ways to show points that are collinear. Of vertices are like the ends of a triangle. So the tips of a triangle or a shape are called vertices. Okay. So let's take a look at this window. Okay, I just move up so you can see me here. Yeah, okay, so we are in a snip. There are points lying on a straight line. Find the gradient of the line. So actually, right, basically K is the one that's giving us trouble. So if let's draw a diagram. So let's say this A here is -5, -3. Okay, and then this C here is 43. And if they're all on a straight line, one thing you need to know is that don't A, B, B, C, A, C, they all have the same gradient, right? But then this B is the stubborn one. It gives us a K. Okay, I'm just going to draw it in another color. We need to find out what K is later on. Okay, so this is how I set up the question. Is this giving you some clues on how to solve it? Okay, because finding the gradient, right? So we'll just use A and C, because A and C can tell you the gradient, right? This is just for, these are pure numbers. Throw in the gradient formula, and then you find the gradient is 2/3. Okay, the second one is the thing. In fact, I don't want to give you the whole thing. Can I just write a hint here? Okay, you must realize that your gradient of the line, or rather the gradient of AC, is the same as your gradient of AB, right? I forgot to label that. Okay, so let's see, this is okay. So after that, and since you calculated this whole thing to be 2/3, we calculated this whole thing in the first part. This was just calculated to be 2/3, right? So you gotta set something up and then solve it. Okay, so now having the K here, I'll apply the formula, of the gradient. So it's K minus -3 over -2 minus -5. Okay, and then this is pretty easy to solve to find K. Alright, okay guys, there's 10 more minutes to go, but oh man, I need a drink of water. Okay, okay, just post something in the chat. Just say hello or what, so I know that y'all are alive. Oh, there's only Dinesh, Jivan, and Zhen Xiang. Oof. Okay. Zhen Xiang, I think later we do Google Meet lah, since there's only like how they okay, that's from the first part. Okay, so at least that's something I can answer. How did I get 2/3? Okay, so listen. Uh, what color you like, Jivan? Okay, let's use purple. Okay, so how did I get to that's the answer to why is my custom pen? I wanted purple. Okay, so where did I get 2/3 from? Because can you see that A and C, they gave me all numbers. So how do I get that point? Okay, let's just use the gradient of AC, which is the gradient of the entire line. Yeah, let me see. Yes, thank you, Zhen Xiang, for answering. But here's the calculation given. 3 plus 3. Can you figure out why I put plus or not? Because it's actually 3 minus -3. And it's 4 plus 5. Why? Because it's minus -5. Okay, so when this whole thing is like, its whole thing is 6/9 or it's 2/3. That's where I got the answer from. Yes, Zhen Xiang, very good. Okay, you are getting it. Okay, let's see why my WhatsApp is why is my WhatsApp blowing up? Okay, so anyway, guys, yeah. Yeah, what? No, it's 6/9, not 69. That's the difference. 6/9, not 69. Okay. Any more questions? Ask questions. Okay, if not, I think you should use the time to work on the worksheet. Okay, so there are two very important things to remember. One is formula of a straight line. That's your Pythagoras theorem. And the other one is this one. This is formula of gradient. Okay, I'll just chill here until I see a question. You guys can tell me about how you spent Good Friday. It's a 3-day weekend. Did you slack off or did you work hard? Question 4Z. There's no 4Z. Okay. Okay, question 4. Alright, so vertices just means the endpoints, okay? And we want to find the value of n. Okay, so the gradient of AB is -2n. Hey, so this is simple, what? Just find the gradient of AB and equate it to 2n. Okay, I'll write the points down now. Okay, so let me memorize the points. -1, -1, 1 minus 3. Okay. Okay, so here are the points. Okay, the points were -1, -1, and okay, even though I must say, if you are just copying without understanding, you won't learn much. Okay, you got to do it yourself. Okay, so let's find the gradient of this. Let's call this 0.2. Okay, let's call this 0.1. Okay, so finding the gradient. Okay, so gradient is -3 minus 1. Okay, and 1 minus 1. Yeah, okay, sorry. Oops. Okay, so this is like okay, so any other questions? So that's how you start question 4. Okay guys, and since there's 4 more minutes left, okay, Chen Xiang, I'm helping you out with Tuaka, so at let me see, 150. So for the rest, if there's nothing on stream, let's see how many people joined in. Oh, there are only 4 of you. Okay, I mean, oh man, well done guys. So yeah, that's it. Okay, see you guys. Okay, but yeah, it's very sad that more people aren't here. Well, I just hope they're okay. Okay, before you sign off, just give me an F in the chat, so I know you all heard me. No, Tuakaso will be a new stream. Okay, the reason why I'm separating this is that YouTube automatically saves the videos, so it's easy for you guys to reference it.